'cause aside from us, so
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. I have a special guest and a friend, Ajane, here to help me to share her perspective, not only from a woman's standpoint, but just to have another opinion on some of these topics I'll be talking about. And since I always talk about love, we're gonna jump in about love because, I have heard where it says, love everybody as yourself, right? Love your neighbors as yourself. Like you're supposed to love. So if that's the case, why can't I say I love you to somebody I don't even know? Why does it have to be isolated to loving somebody because they are family or, a boyfriend or girlfriend or, why does it have to be isolated? So let's get into it. Like, why can't I say I love you and to just a complete stranger?
I feel like for each person, sometimes when it comes to love, it's a privilege. They have to earn that. So in order, for some people, they don't just love people just as a whole, just because you're a person, you're a human. Some people don't have that. Some people, in order to love somebody, regardless of what the title is, regardless of what your relationship is with the person or not, you have to earn that. It's like earning trust. And that's something that you learn over time. And sometimes it's hard to automatically just love somebody just for being them, just for being human, just for being just their presence. It's not always that simple.
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand, so let's say you and I are talking and we're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. And so then as time goes on, 6, 7, 8 months, a year, then I can say, oh, I love you, right? Mm-hmm. So where does that love, let's say I love you because we are talking, where does that love come from?
Where does it come from?
Yeah. Because people say it all the time, like, oh, I love you. I'm going somewhere with this, but just where does it come from if you don't already have it in you?
Over time, it comes from just trust. It comes from an emotion that you feel. It's just an emotion. Like, even when I realize that I love somebody, there's a difference. And as I said before, there's levels to it when it comes to loving somebody. So you can love somebody, but how much you may love them may differ depending on the person that you're referring to. In the sense of when you say that you love your friend, when you love your family, when you love your partner, and just loving someone, walking in the street or just a regular person that you don't even know. It just comes from, it's an emotion that you feel, it comes from the heart. And it's kind of hard to explain, but when you love somebody. And then like I said, either you earn it or you don't. And some people, you love people naturally, and that's just part of who you are, and even loving yourself. Or some people don't have it.
Okay.
Some people feel differently, so it just depends.
Well, because, so in that same token, right, mm-hmm. You love somebody, but then there's an argument, there's a discord, there's a disconnect. Then all of a sudden, I hate you. So where does that come from? Where it's like, I'm mad, I'm upset, I'm bitter.
Well, as I say, it's a thin line between love and hate.
A thin line, okay. So would it be easier to just love regardless? Just love regardless, no matter what?
That's true, but I feel like that's hard. And then sometimes for some people, they may love you, but then if you break their heart or break their trust, it's hard for them to feel that emotion. So they love you. But then I feel like in some, aspects, it doesn't matter what happens. You're always going to love that person, even if they hurt you. It's just kind of like, I feel like even with marriage, over time, or just loving someone, your partner, it's not always going to be picture perfect. It's not always going to be pretty. At some point, the person is going to hurt you, not intentionally, but at some point you may be disappointed and it may hurt you, but you have to learn how to forgive and to heal and to get past it, and you still love them even through that hurt and pain that they may have caused you.
Okay.
So I feel like when you truly do love somebody, granted there's a thin line between love and hate, but when you really love somebody, you may even feel the emotion of hate in that moment. I don't want to hate because it's a strong word, but you may feel that emotion of being angry and frustrated with them at the time, But overall, in the end, if you truly do love that person, you're going to love them past that point. You're going to love them even through the hard times, even when you may not agree, even when they may hurt you unintentionally, but you still love them in the end.
Okay. In one of my videos, I talked about where when two people are drawn together because they're attracted to each other, right? Mm-hmm. They have this energy that pulls them in, right? Where they want to just, what's the word I can use for that? How can I express what this means?
I mean, just the connection, the soul tie, the bond.
Okay. So I'm always talking about friendship, mm-hmm. how important friendship is, right? Mm-hmm. So when this energy between two people are there, why is it hard to build a friendship first before allowing the physical to take over?
Because people want to give in to their flesh, I feel, you know, but you have to be mindful. It is important to have that friendship to build that foundation, because you really get to know the person. And I feel like even at that point, if you feel like you love them, you know what you're talking about, you know what you feel. I feel like, even for me, example, I've, had a relationship where we were friends for a long time. And so when we finally did get to the point of wanting to be in a relationship, I was sure about what I wanted. I was confident, and I knew what love felt like. I was sure about it. But it took time, and I feel like that is the best thing to do is really take the time to get to know someone. And you have often a lot of relationships where people jump into a relationship, they knew them just for a few moments, and then say a few months go by to being together, and then they're broken up. And they're like, oh, he's not what I expected, or oh my God, he turns out to be crazy, or he or she, or whatever. And the person turns out to be something they didn't expect or they didn't like, and they realize they really didn't like the person. But if you have took the time to really focus on learning that person, mm-hmm. and even realizing, do you really like them beyond the flesh, beyond just you having the attraction for them, but look at their mental, look at their lifestyle, and really think about, is this something that you really want? Yeah.
Well, I think that friendship, number one, is everything, right? Mm-hmm. Where you can, it takes time to build a friendship anyway, right?
Right.
For example, I saw this girl, I met this girl, I've seen her a couple of times, and so the second time that I saw her, I gave her a hug, and after the hug, she was expressing to me like how she's never really experienced like a good relationship, not a good anything. She's been lied on, cheated on, all of this different stuff, mm-hmm. Like she trusted to give herself, and she got screwed pretty much in a nutshell, mm-hmm. right? And so after that, I was just like, I want to be a prime example to her, right? Because I feel like she's been broken and used and abused so much, right? By people. People have taken advantage of her so much that I want to make sure that I am careful with her. Like I treat her with care, right? Mm-hmm. With that purity of love, that unconditional love and care, regardless, without wanting anything from her, right? Just that, And why can that be a prime example from a man to a woman, right? Where it's nothing physical, it's just the purity of that.
Just showing love and appreciation, treating her with the utmost respect, setting the example, and just showing her how she deserves how to be treated, whether it's as a friend, or whether it's something more. I think that's important. I think it's important that you not only are you like that just with her, but you walk that example daily. You set that example, and you set the tone with anybody that you encounter. It should be like that, where you treat them with the utmost respect, where you make them feel welcome, you make them feel loved, and just being genuine and kind. Yes. Like actual genuine. That's what I feel like is so hard for some people. And sometimes you let yourself get in the way. I feel like some people, they cave into how they really feel. They let that come out. Their true colors come out eventually. You can tell when someone's really genuine or not.
Okay.
And you can tell when someone's being fake
yeah.
or not. And so I feel like eventually it all comes out, and people can feel that energy. So I seen a quote where it says, I understand energy more than I understand your words. only because, and they said it's better off for you to just be yourself.
Yes.
Because eventually I will recognize who you really are.
Yes.
And so I feel like as you walk that example, even as your thought process, how you think, how you make your moves, and just how you interact with people, people can feel that. They can feel that energy.
Yes.
Whether you want to believe it or not, but it's real. I feel, and you can tell when someone's genuine.
So why is it hard for people to be genuine? Like, you know, because when people meet somebody, obviously they want something from that person, right? So why can't it just be you meet somebody just because you meet them, but you don't want anything? Like, you just can be genuine. Why is that hard for people to be genuine?
I feel like it depends on your experience. It depends on, you know, your history and your past and the type of interactions you have with other people, what you've been taught, your upbringing, and then I feel like it comes down to your spirit. It comes down to, it's just a lot of things come into play with that. And I think it is possible to have that, to have a genuine friendship, and it doesn't have to be anything more. It can just be a friendship, and that's perfect. And you do have some relationships out there that are like that.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, you don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but I think it's something that's really healthy. I think it's something that everybody needs to, you know, whether it's from the opposite sex or not, but just to have that in your life, to know what it's like to have someone that's genuine, and that wants the best for you, and that truly does care for you, for your well-being, just you as an individual, and doesn't have any type of ulterior motive to get anything from you or to want anything, just to show you love and appreciation and treat you with the utmost respect that you deserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of people are scarred and they're hurt, and so the trust factor is broken.
But it is still their responsibility to actually take the time to forgive and to heal and to let go.
You say it's their responsibility?
Yeah, it is. In
Okay.
order to be able to trust other people, in order to have better interactions and experience, it is so important. It's just like, if you don't take the time to sit there and learn your lessons from your past, and the cycle is going to continue, and it's going to keep repeating itself until you actually take the time to really figure out, okay, what did you do wrong? How could you prevent this? How did this even all happen? One, forgive the other people that have done you wrong, and even forgive yourself for going through that if you chose to stay and tolerate whatever it is that you dealt with.
Well, okay. As a guy, right? Most guys want the physical when it comes to a woman.
Right.
Okay. So most guys will say things that sound good to the woman's ear, right? Because all he wants is the physical, but he doesn't have the courage to be upfront to say, hey, look, all I want is the physical from you, from the initial standpoint, right? So when he is able to plant that seed of being available, long hours, talking on the phone, listening, seeming like he's caring, because yes, she might have her wall up, right? She might have her wall up and her guards up because she doesn't know this guy, right? So when he's all, dinner, sure, yes. Movie, oh yeah, no problem, you know? So as he's doing all of that and taking the time, because most guys' goal is just that in itself. They want the physical, right? Then once she gives in and says, okay, you know, in her own mind, okay, this guy seems like he's genuine, seems like he's nice, you know? And so she lets herself open, and he comes in and they execute, and then before you know it, for him, his goal has been accomplished. He has no more reason to talk long hours on the phone anymore. He has no reason to be like, so yeah, how was your day? And he has no reason to even interact with her the same anymore. And then what does that do? It crushes her more. It breaks her heart. Well, it starts to crumble the heart, because each time upon time upon time is the same patterns. So how is she able to have that self-talk and trust that, okay, maybe the next person will be the right one? How does she even do that?
It's all about having discernment, and it's also about not giving into your flesh and still knowing how to take that out of the equation. When it comes to meeting someone and talking to someone, take the physical out. Why even consider that? Why talk about that? Why can't you just continue to get to know him? Granted, he's nice, he's doing this, he's making himself available. So if you don't want to get hurt again, so then don't allow the cycle to continue to repeat itself. Don't give in. You can take that out of the equation. I mean, let's keep it real. A lot of times people are oblivious to a lot of things because of the physical, and they think that they have all these emotions from being physical and intimate with someone that really aren't there. It's just the physical, but they don't actually take the time to go underneath, to dig deeper, and to really get to know that person and really see them for who they really are. It takes time. It takes for something else to happen for them, for their eyes to finally be open. Why wait until that point and put yourself through all of that? That's why I said you still have to forgive yourself for allowing yourself to go through that. When you already knew from the beginning, okay, you can get to know this person, but have that discernment. Take that time to really know who you're talking to, and you don't have to actually give into the physical. Even if you may feel it, you may want to, but why do it? If you want to make sure that you met the right one, if it's the right one, then he's going to be patient. If it's the right one, he's going to take his time to really get to know you and understand what you're talking about. I feel like it's even good to set that expectation from the beginning.
Yes.
So that way you know, so they know what the deal is when they're going into it and talking to you, as well as you. Now, you will have some men who like a challenge. So women do say that, and they think, oh, okay, well, let me woo her for a little while, and eventually over time, they'll get her to put her wall down. But even at that time, it's still even more important for her to continue to be on her guard, her A game, and continue to build that bond and connection and really get to know them and see them for who they are. And just having that discernment, I feel like when you take the physical out of it and you really take the time to analyze and observe and see how everything is playing out and really see that person, it doesn't take long for you to realize if someone, full of BS or not.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Because it is, like you said earlier, fine line between love and hate. It's a fine line between somebody being genuine and not.
Right.
It's such a fine line because some people they understand. Well, some guys understand and they are, able to give that fine line. I just think that a lot of our guys just need to understand the value of a woman, okay? Mm-hmm. And then they need to set their goals a little bit higher, okay? What I mean by higher, most guys' mindset...
The men or the women?
The men.
Okay.
I think guys, boys, men need to set their goals higher when it comes to a woman. Because when a man's goal is only to accomplish, the physical, because what do guys do? They see a girl, they're like, dang, ugh. So they're already thinking in their brain what they want to do to her. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it David in the Bible that saw a woman across the way taking a bath? Right? Mm-hmm. Right? She was a married woman, right? But he saw her, he was like, dang. Did he? Let's be real, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so then he was just like, So what did he do? Because he was a man of power, right? Mm-hmm. He sends her husband away to go fight in the war and then calls for her and says, come here. You know why? Because he wanted her, right? So he takes her for her, right? He has sex with her and he gets her pregnant, right? But then calls her husband back to, so that way they can make love and so it can seem like, the husband got her pregnant so that way he can take care of that. It's okay for him to plant his seed, but he doesn't want to be responsible. A guy, when the guy's mindset is only in the physical, that's not it.
But then that also comes from the foundation of their upbringing, I feel like it comes from, these young boys aren't taught how to have that self-value and self-love for themselves and to set their standards. I feel like it starts then.
This is where I come into play. My passion is to help, especially our teens, right?
Exactly.
Our young boys, to let them know that the woman's worth is more than just her physical, right? When he has an idea in his brain that he wants someone that he can grow old with, I think guys need to know that to grow old with somebody should be the goal.
Right. But you have to be in sync and equally yoked with that person.
Well, and
it takes time to build that foundation. But
the thing is that if a guy's mindset is physical, right, to get sex, if the guy's brain is physical, it's gonna stop at sex. He's not able to think past that. He has to be manipulated and maneuvered to be able to commit to a relationship.
Right, but then it's important in order for him to be taught that. If he's not taught that as a young man, as a young boy, then he doesn't know that. So what society says and what they put out there, even on social media, even with the music that they listen to nowadays, it's all about having all these girls and doing this and doing that and getting around, but they don't actually educate and really talk about.
It's not going to be taught in schools. It's not going to be taught at home because home is too busy, you know.
But I feel like as a parent, that's your responsibility.
Most parents don't even know that. Most parents are trying to find love themselves too.
I mean, that's the point of when you have children. It's to teach them how to survive in this world. It's to teach them how to have self-love and value and how to maneuver through this thing called life, I feel. And I feel like that's a duty, especially when it comes to young men, and why it's so important to have their fathers. And whether they do or they don't have their fathers, even mothers can do it too. That have to do it, but it's so important to teach that to the young men that they have, you know, to let them know, to educate them, so that way when they do finally become young men, I feel like they already have that foundation. They already know what it is. They already know they have that self-value and love. It's so important to continue to remind your son of how awesome he is, to let him know how loved he is and his value. You have to pour into them. Kids, when they're kids, they're like sponges. So they're constantly observing and absorbing everything.
Yeah.
It's so important. I think that's just the prime time, I think, is the foundation of childhood and your upbringing. I think that's where a lot of things start, where everything is rooted in.
Okay. I mean, fine. But the thing is that it has not been working at all. It has not worked. I have not yet to see a role model, someone that I can be like, you know what, I want to emulate that person. I want to look up to that person. I want to be like that person.
I think it's out there. You may not know about the people, but I'm sure it's happening, and it does work.
Well, if there's people out there that has that same kind of mindset and principle, please reach out to me. Let's figure out how to help other people have that mindset, because it is so important. That's just what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because from at least from the era that I grew up under, you know, like.
Well, even if they don't have, so if they're not getting that at home, I think that's where, you know, counselors come in hand, being a mentor, having the group homes. So even with your group home that you had and with what you're trying to do as well, I think that's something that you are able to offer with the children, with the youth that would be there, is to educate them. So whatever it is that they're missing and what they're lacking from home, they're not able to get from their parents. And I think that's where the mentors come in hand, having that person that they can look up to, that can also help with directing them into the right path, with giving them guidance. I think that is so important to have as well. And sometimes some kids may not feel comfortable to have that conversation with their parents, or they may not even have their parents there with them. But I think it's still important for them to have some type of guidance, or have a mentor or someone they can go to or look up to that can still help guide them on the right path.
For sure. So then back to the original question about love. So is it okay to just be like to love everybody regardless?
It is okay. And honestly, when you think about it, God loves all of us.
Yeah.
He loves all of us.
Yeah.
Everything. All the stuff that we all do.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, that's how we're supposed to be. But that's not how everybody is. That's the reality of it. Not everybody has that heart and isn't willing to love everybody. And some people, they feel like you have to earn it. And for some, you just love people just to love people. That's just what you're about. That's just who you are. That's what you feel.
Okay. Well, because I know that it's made a tiny difference with each person that I come in contact with, right? You know, I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey, you know, and the energy is good, you know, and I just want more energy of that, like that out there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, the best thing I think you can do is continue to walk and lead by example, and then continue to educate others who aren't aware. And I think that's what you can do, the best that you can do. And, you know, as you continue to grow, as you continue to get a, more broad audience, then you'll be able to really touch more people. And then sometimes you're touching people and you don't even realize it. You're making that connection. You're able to actually break through. So I think you should definitely continue doing what you do, because eventually, people see it. Even though you may not see it yourself, but you'll be surprised, with how many people actually notice and they watch you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for coming, and speaking your truth. I appreciate. Will you do this again?
Yes.
Will you do this again? Okay.
Yeah,
So, if y'all have any thoughts, any opinions on this about love, like my mindset is to love everybody. Share your comments, share your thoughts. I would love to hear what you have to say about it as well too. And again, this is Ajane. Thank you for coming. You know what I'm saying? And yes. So y'all have a great day. One love, big hugs, wherever you are, and peace. Till next time.
Bye.
Already.